Hey everybody, it's Milo here, and I'm doing commentary on the Grand Finals of the Cube Championships 2014. And I'm here with Frank!
Hi everybody.
Alright, so Mark is on the play. He starts with a Mountain into Mana Vault into Coalition Relic. This is an insane start.
What a fast start. But he's going to be in tough because he has to win. He has to win both matches. He has to win 2 rounds in a row.
Oh, that's right, because this is actually a double elimination tournament. And you can see Marc Anderson has an L next to his name, and Mark Raska has a W, which means that Marc Anderson has actually lost a round, and Mark Raska has not. So to be eliminated from the event, Mark Raska actually has to lose twice, 2 matches back-to-back against Marc Anderson.
And the match that Marc Anderson's already lost is actually against Mark Raska.
It's crazy. This is an all-Mark finals to be remembered. For sure.
Did you often think that it would be both of us in here?
I did, yeah, I did actually, because there was multiple Cube Championships. Actually, just one, really, right?
To be fair,
2 years ago, it was you and me in the.
They absolutely smashed us, and we're way better than us. That's why they're playing here right now.
But these are some crazy cards that Mark has in play, right?
Mark has played a prophetic. I don't know the name of this card, but I know what it does.
Flame Speaker.
It is a great card, but Raska has bounced it twice already. He's dealt with it twice, which isn't a permanent way of dealing with it. But he might get to a blocker.
He just drew a mana drain. So
yeah, it might help him if Mark does nothing this turn, but I don't see that happening. Oh, he did something!
He played the exact same card he's been trying to play turn after turn after turn.
Unless Raska produces a blocker, things are looking bad.
So Mark Raska plays an island that has a marker all over it, but I assure you it's an island. And then he plays a Tarmogoyf.
It's a 2/3 Tarmogoyf, I think. Is it correct?
It's got 2 instants and a land in a graveyard, so yeah.
That would be correct. What does Mark do? Does he have the lightning bolt? Does he have the... What does he
does
need?
have trample, so...
Doesn't
attacking creature becomes untapped.
Oh wait,
he can untap target attacking creature. That's a Maze of Ith.
It does not seem relevant right now, though.
Nope.
You'd rather that be a mountain.
Try.
Okay.
So if he's got a Chain Lightning in his hand, if he Chain Lightnings that Tarmogoyf does not die. Is that right?
No, it does die because there's already an instant in his... Oh, Chain Lightning is a sorcery. You are correct. That Tarmogoyf will live on.
Live on to Goyf another day.
He would die on the block to the prophetic
Flame Speaker. But you'd want to do the... This is tough. This is a tough one.
Well, there's no harm in attacking for Mark, because that Tarmogoyf can't kill the speaker unless Mark has something right now. Mark and Raska.
Oh, and he can just finish it off. Finish that Goyf off right now.
Do you think that was a mistake that he attacked first then?
Yeah, I think he should have played the Goblin first.
Well, because if he plays the Goblin first, that gives Raska a chance to counter it, and then there would be a creature in the graveyard.
Oh, look at you.
Of course, Mark can't know that he has a counter spell. It's all very vague as to what is the correct play.
Raska does have 2 blue up, so... And they've actually played before, so they know each other's decks quite well.
Raska's deck is full of counter spells. Tarmogoyf goes to the yard, not interested in mana draining for 1. But it does make Mark Raska's deck look pretty bad right now. It's not looking good.
I definitely think that the mana drain... I think it was worth mana draining that turn.
So one more thing about that attack, though. It does allow him to Maze of Ith his own creature if something really bad happens.
But it would that thing that would have happened would have had to happen during combat with double blue. There's nothing.
Yeah, there's not very many.
There's nothing. There's like he could have bounced it, but what else could he have done? There's no turn to frog in queue.
Do you think that's a tell when your opponent reads your card that it's about to hit them?
Yep. I think for sure, like Mark has to think that that Flame Speaker's going through, or he could have wanted to check if it actually did have trample.
It does indeed have trample. Mark has just paid 4 mana to untap a mana vault. I don't know how I feel about that. Do you usually untap it? How early do you untap it? I always untap it too late, I feel. Or never untap it. It's a dark ritual for me, and then it deals me 1 for the rest of the game.
It's like the worst dark ritual ever.
Here it comes. See, I don't know if I like that he untapped it though, because he has lots of things that he can do with his mana, and 1 damage isn't that relevant to him, I feel.
Especially at this point in the game. And especially since he's going to hit with the Flame Speaker and be able to draw 2 cards that he might want to play, right?
Yeah, I think it was a mistake maybe. Don't tell Mark, he'll never admit to it. It'll break his heart. But not really.
Hold on.
Mark's deck and Mark's play has been way better. A grade above most of the other play, except for Mark Raska. His one opponent. Oh ho! Did not see that coming.
Pestermite.
We definitely thought it was getting in, right? Based on all of Mark's actions.
Oh, wait, is that Pestermite foiled? That sucks. I just bought a foiled Pestermite because I thought that the one in my cube wasn't foiled.
You can play 2 Pestermites in 1 cube.
No, you can't.
Some people say you can't.
You don't have to try to spare my feelings, Frank.
You can make an all Pestermite deck.
You mean Splinter Twin?
That sounds like a terrible deck.
Oh, but
that's why he paid 4 mana, so that he could tap it right over again. It all makes
there's
perfect.
that mana leak.
Oh no!
Seems like a legit mana leak that time.
It way better
Or
than
sorry, mana
drain.
Mana drain. So Mark Raska tried to put the mana drain on top of his library to remember that he's going to have mana during his first main phase, but Marc Anderson told him he wasn't allowed to do it, and instead put a dice on top of his deck.
It all seems very irrelevant, Miles. I think that's a Karn in his hand.
I see Kiora, the Crashing Waves.
I don't know what any cards look like.
Have you played Magic recently, or?
I lost earlier this tournament. I beat you also in this tournament.
Yeah, well, whatever.
I guess nobody gets a prize for coming.
Here comes Kiora, using 2 of the 3 mana he got from Mana Drain.
How do you rate this Planeswalker?
I don't know, with numbers?
10 out of 10 maybe.
Yep, that's how I would rate it.
Oh, good.
So he plus 1 the Kiora, and I believe he targeted the Prophetic Flame Speaker.
For those of us at home, what does that do when you plus 1 a Kiora?
It make target permanent and opponent controls neither deals nor receives combat until your next turn.
So you probably picked that Prophetic, you said?
I'm guessing, but he could have picked the Spike Shot Elder.
I did.
Because the Spike Shot Elder could just kill his
That's true.
Pestermite. So I wonder which one he picked, because I don't know. It probably depends on what he's going to do right now. Lotus Cobra.
What do you think about that play? He just played a Lotus Cobra without using the mana he had for Mana Drain, and he only left 1 mana open. Would you have played the Lotus Cobra?
With yeah, with phase. Yeah, I think so. I don't know what else is in his hand, actually. I couldn't see. So. Alright, it's Mark's turn. He doesn't untap the Mana Vault this turn.
He's such a fan of untapping the Mana Vault, it's really a surprise.
Here comes a Chain Lightning on
Oh
Kiora.
no!
Kiora, so Sora. Do you like that one? I just made that one
It's
up.
going to catch on among your cult following. Marc Anderson has really decimated Mark Raska's board.
Raska has so many 1 toughness creatures that Spike Shot Elder has done more work than it's ever done in Cube.
It is not looking good for
And
Mark
that Maze
Raska
of
at
It
this point.
saved him a ton of damage at this point. 4 to be exact. 4 damage.
That is the birds.
Another card that can just be ruined by Spike Shot Elder.
Yep.
Making room for the... making a path for the Prophetic Flame Speaker.
Can you explain something to me? Can I go Prophetic, get his double strike, get his first strike portion of the double strike damage dealt, and then untap him with the Maze of It?
Yes.
I don't think it's going to happen, but that's interesting.
Pretty good, right? Any like first strike creature in Cube can do that.
That is pretty interesting interactions with Maze of It. But this is really looking pretty.
I see that
pretty
Raska
bad.
has another counterspell. He's got a Mystic Snake in his hand.
I hope that Raska finds something within himself that can do any sort of threat that doesn't have 1 toughness.
Look deep
Deep into his soul and find a threat.
Sorry about that. Excuse me.
Sheldock Isle.
Shelduck Eye, a card that's been working overtime for Mark. Mark Anderson really is able to get the most out of his cards. Have you noticed that?
There's one thing about Cube is that you're probably going to draft 23 playables no matter what you do, so you might as well have some non-basic lands. Because you can only play really 23, 24 normal cards ever, and then you only have maybe 2 to 3 relevant sideboard cards in the best of decks.
Yep.
So it really gives you room for lands. And that's a great land. Especially the way Mark plays. I think he drafts it really high, because whenever I'm sitting to his left, I never see it.
Yeah, that's true.
Mark was one of the only red drafters in this draft, and his deck is really good.
He could have actually played mono red Mark Anderson, right?
Oh yeah, he would have steamrolled everybody faster.
Except Raska. Raska was able to beat him during the tournament, so we will see if Raska can do it again.
I don't know if he has the aggressive cards in, though. I think that they're in his sideboard, as we just saw in a match where he stomped me.
Mm-hmm. I think that all 10 points of damage that Mark has faced has been because of the Manifold.
Except for that one turn he untapped it. Do you remember that turn?
Yep.
Oh!
Mystic Snake on Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Oh!
Which 4-drop blue card is better? Jace the Mind Sculptor, obviously. And now we have Fire Imp.
So one-time red cap.
Or as we like to call him, Nipples the Pants Imp.
I never understood the name, but it's stuck. It has stuck.
It's a really cool looking card. Fire Imp. What do you think?
I think it is a really cool looking card. Do you think that is long for Cube, or do you think it's on the way out? Will it always have a space in the Cube?
I don't think it'll always have a space in Cube, but I think it's better right now than the other guy, the one that deals to creature or player, and has Echo, the 2 in a red.
That's fair. Do you think he's better than Murderous Red Cap? Of course not.
No.
Mark Raska's just played Sower of
But
Temptation.
there's more spots for red cards than there are for Rakdos cards. So. There's
Sower,
only... Sorry?
Sower of Temptation is looking pretty threatening right now. Mark's only at 10 life.
It is, for sure, but I also see that Mark has a Maze of Ith in play.
Oh, right. He's had that the whole game. This is always a surprise to me.
Maze of Ith is super powerful. I pick it very high in Cube.
When my opponent reveals a Maze of Ith from behind his land pile.
I don't think he's been hiding it, though. It's very out in the open.
I think he's used it.
Multiple times. And here comes the Game Ender.
That is a great card. But Mark Raska really only has to win 2 games in a row, or 2 games out of 3, right?
Yeah.
It's not that much of a stretch. I didn't actually watch this game, but my money's
You're
on
watching
Raska.
it now.
Yeah. But I really enjoy.
Right
I really enjoy when Raska's would. I really like Raska beating Anderson would make me
super happy
super happy.
to get like revenge.
Revenge for Mark eliminating me would be exactly what I want, because I'm a sore loser. That's just the type of loser I am.
A sore one.
A sore one, a big baby.
So Mark untapped his Mana Vault. 11 points of damage was just too many damages.
It's also 2 turns with the Consecrated Sphinx. That card is good. That is a great card.
Oh, he's going to kill that Star of Temptation, get his Spike Shot Elder back.
For a second I thought he was going to tap it. I'm just not a very good Magic player. Fire and Ice, of course, being able to play for both sides, but not both at once.
Exactly. It doesn't have... do you remember what that's called from Dragon Maze, where they get to...
I don't, but it looks like Anderson just conceded. Just kidding.
Mark Raska conceded, and he's on his phone now.
And he's
complaining on Facebook about Mark Anderson being a sack.
Anderson's really fast to get to the next game because he is gonna...
He wants to keep the momentum going, right?
I don't believe in momentum, but he did just win pretty decisively in that one.
Yes, he did.
But Raska's already beaten him in this tournament.
So it's just a matter of time, is what you're saying?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I mean, he's won. Obviously, he's already won 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point in this tournament. And that game wasn't that lopsided. It was just really, Raska always looked a turn behind, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
If the turns were reversed, I mean, if Raska gets his counterspell on, I don't know, the prophetic earlier. So if the prophetic doesn't come down without a counterspell, I think the game's different. But that was a good start by Anderson.
This is a pretty good start by Raska. Starting with Lotus Cobra at turn 2. Marc Anderson answers with a turn 2 Devil's Play. Going back to Raska. We have a turn 3.
I think he's a Tarmogoyf in end, but he's not casting it. He's thinking
It's a 3/4. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good for Tarmogoyf on turn 3, right?
Is he thinking about not... He's cast a Coiling Oracle instead of a Tarmogoyf, it looks like. Is that true?
Yep, that is true. And then he got the Birds of Paradise, which he was able to play the Hinterland Harbor and cast the Birds of Paradise.
I mean, it seems fine. I'm just a very big fan of doing damage early.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he thinks the key to winning is card advantage over...
He does have a ninja... He has a ninja in hand and a Birds of Paradise. That's a pretty good combo.
That is definitely... and also Coiling Oracle. I think that's the one you're going to want to ninja out.
That's true as well.
But the ninja he has is the Clone Ninja, right?
No, he has a Depower Ninja. He has the Draw a Card Ninja. And
I also think he is the Clone Ninja.
A lot of people not playing the Clone Ninja in their cube.
I think it's really good because you can, especially in this situation, he can ninja out the Clone Ninja, get it comes into play, trigger, and then ninja the Depowers in for the comes into the other ninja before damage.
Playing it right now would be really good, and getting one of these, a copy of this.
Yes, it would be.
That'd be great.
That would be insane right now. All he has to do is attack with the bird and do it. Although he would have to hit land, right, for it to be really good. And then also he would be conceding a hit from Mark's Prophetic Flame Speaker without Mark playing, like, without Mark using his lands yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think this is the right play, but it looks like he's going to do it.
Sakashima student.
He's cloning Prophetic Flame Speaker.
So exile you get to see also?
Yep.
Exile for regular damage?
So this is a force. He's going to be able to play that.
Yeah, for sure. And exile for regular damage.
And then he gets a Willbender, which is actually really not that bad because if he plays the Willbender, it can block the Prophetic Flame Speaker for a turn.
Those cards do not go to his hand.
They do not. And I believe he was corrected. I actually really like him playing the Willbender at this point. Because he's never going to get another chance to play it again. It's a free card. It's like a fog. Unless Mark has a card that he's going to spend. But if he does, then he's going to be tapping mana to do that.
I don't know, because if he plays the Tarmogoyf, his Tarmogoyf is gigantic.
It's true. He's got a 3/4 Tarmogoyf. But if Mark just has a bounce spell, he loses the Willbender forever. And still gets a chance to play a land, I guess? I don't know. It's tough. Because right now you want to stop the other person's Prophetic Flame Speaker while still getting in with your own Prophetic Flame Speaker and having lands untapped.
Anderson is not at that much life, though. I don't know. I think I would play the Tarmogoyf.
He's at a lot of life. 16 life's a lot.
He's already on the brink of death.
Alright, he's going with your plan. He's going with Goyf.
Definitely, history will vindicate me.
So we got a Museum
no.
Orders. Deals with the Goyf. Maze of Ith deals with Raska's Prophetic Flame Speaker.
That
and Mark
Museum
gets
Orders
hit.
is great.
If he gets a land here, oh, No, you can't play the land.
I would have blocked that with my Coiling Oracle. I don't know.
See, if he didn't play the Maze of Ith yet, he would have been able to play the mountain
What?
and then kill the Raska's Prophetic Flame Speaker.
But why wouldn't he play? Why wouldn't he block with the Coiling Oracle? Why wouldn't Raska block?
Just play again with.
What
Because
plans
it
did
has
he have?
trample.
Oh, it has trample, so he would still draw a card.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And now Raska's going in with his Prophetic Flame Speaker and Coiling Oracle with 4 lands untapped. However, he can just Maze of Ith, Raska's Prophetic Flame Speaker, which means that it can now block. But, since this was before blockers were declared,
Well, you can't ninja this thing. Because I raised it.
he can actually bounce.
I think they're debating right now because there's a ruling after which if Mark asks him are blockers declared,
It's still attacking.
then he can bounce the creature that got untapped with Maze of Ith.
Yes.
It has to
But
not
that's
be-
kind of I don't think Anderson's gonna allow that to happen in this game because I'm pretty sure that wasn't made clear
Yeah, but it doesn't remove
that
combat.
blockers hadn't yet been declared. And Anderson is a good enough player that he knows that ninjas have this ability, so he wouldn't have said, sure, blockers weren't declared, right? He just wouldn't have done
What did I
that.
see with last round?
So he's gonna have to bounce the Coiling Oracle, I
I
think,
didn't
no
think
matter
that's
what he does.
you were asking me.
That's exactly what
I
I said.
don't think Anderson's gonna let him
They
have
were
it
asking
either
if
way.
you can do it
That's
before-
okay. There's actually
before
nothing I
any
could have
hits.
done to stop it if it
Yeah.
works that way anyways. So
I just meant that I thought last round you asked me if
So they're just
you can-
discussing right there.
if you can prevent it beforehand.
No, it's fine. I can't do it. So they're both, and you're playing 2 more, right? You're gonna ninja to this guy. Otherwise this guy becomes up.
And then he said he
That
did have
is,
to tap the mana for it.
To draw first.
What?
Actually, no, first strike, right? Yeah, first strike. So you take 1.
Oh, so this is this again.
That
Okay,
is
that's
that.
what I was asking.
What's up?
I take 1. And then I take 3.
Regular damage. That's reveal.
I'm
Okay.
confused as to what just happened actually.
And I'll draw.
Yeah.
Looks like Mike might have made the mistake we were talking. That imposter has gotten in. How did both creatures get through? Oh, Maze of Ith reads untap that creature. It doesn't
Yeah.
deal any damage. It doesn't say anything about removing it from combat, does it?
Exactly, nothing.
Oh wow.
So he can wait until he Maze of Iths and then do it on the creature that he Maze of Ith.
Okay.
First strike.
Take 1.
Yeah.
Take 1.
Yeah, I'm regular.
Oh, and Raska did. He did 2 ninjas in the same turn. Amazing.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
what happened.
We're a little bit slow in studio. Maybe just me. Maybe Miles knew the whole time. Koss.
This one on top. Okay.
I don't know. I like Raska's board position here.
Okay.
I don't know, the Maze of Ith is brutal. Both ninjas are in play now, so there's no more shenanigans.
Would you have kept one of the ninja back so that you could
I
have
think
done
so, yeah.
shenanigans?
Just because it nullifies the Maze of Ith, right?
Which is a great card.
It's one of the few counters to Maze of Ith. So here we got a Strangleroot Geist. It's a 2/1 Undying Haste.
Are they all going at
We've
cost?
definitely seen this before.
Back to me.
I'm not too sure what Mark Raska wants to do yet.
I would probably point them all to cost. But there's a problem. In that's not that good for him, actually.
It kills Koth, right?
Yeah. But you
So he's
can't...
going to prevent him from...
a lot of these cards read when they deal damage to a player, I think. So I don't think that...
No, this does not trigger. Unless no, he dealt it to his life. You can see he
You're right, but,
took the damage.
That's interesting. I don't know if I would have done that. That's pretty high risk by Mark Raska.
I think it's... He attacked Mark's life with both creatures, which is especially crazy.
Well, because the ninja doesn't also... I mean, he wants to draw cards, right? He wants to... Those creatures don't do very much when they attack players, but this is a...
You mean the ninjas don't do much when they attack planeswalkers?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have killed Cost still, though. Because Mark's looking pretty threatening now with that board, right?
I mean, you don't
Mark
want Koth to
Raska.
go ultimate. That's a
Mark
huge
is.
no-no. So Mark Raska tapped Forest and a Hinterland Harbor for a Coiling Oracle, and then tried to tap 2 islands for a Sylvan Library, and Mark Anderson's not having it.
He was not impressed by that play.
Mark Raska was a little confused by that island. It was just it has black marker all over it.
When you play with the cube, you gotta watch out.
There's lots of altars, lots of things like that that might throw you off.
It really doesn't feel like that should have thrown him off.
He chose to play it. There were other island options. Like, as you can see, Mark Anderson only has the same mountains and islands, right? He's playing only Zendikar lands. Which was one of the choices the players were given. And by choices, I mean I laid out all the lands, and then people just took whatever they wanted. There wasn't a menu. There wasn't like a land menu.
How do you feel about Mark Anderson being tough on the rules on Mark Raska there?
You know, if this cube was for nothing, if it wasn't for the Lundstedt, I'm sure they would have been, that Mark Anderson would have been a good guy about it and let him take it back. But we're talking about bragging rights for an entire year. This is something that I think Mark Anderson just couldn't allow, especially since he's coming so close to winning after 6 years of trying.
He's never won before.
And he has played in all 6 cube championships.
Why, I remember the very first one that he lost.
Did he make it to the finals in the first one? The one that Andrew...
He's
and
made it
Packer
to the top 4 of the... Top 4 of the first one, but I don't think he made it to the top 2. I think it was Andrew and either yourself or Ian.
It was not me, it was Ian. Must have been Ian. Cool Ian.
Cool.
And then the
Ian,
second
cute veteran.
one was the one that Ibi won.
Shubrahim.
And I think he was against Mark's eventual spouse in the finals, wasn't he?
That was a weird matchup where we did a redraft at the last minute. And she was great.
And so Mark's spouse had made a final and he still hadn't.
He had not, but she crushed everybody that day.
And the third one you won, beating Mark in the semifinals.
Also a great victory.
Or no, in the finals. In the finals, right?
In the finals.
And then you beat him again in the semifinals, the year I won.
That was an exciting match.
And then the second year I won, Mark scrubbed out horribly and didn't win a single match.
Let's talk about that one more often.
And now here he is in the finals again.
Against Mark Raska. Mark Anderson, Cube Finals veteran.
And he's,
perennial contender. Perennial runner-up.
And I think he's made a commitment to himself to be, at the very least, the first Mark to win the Lundstedt. I think that's what he's trying to do.
Do you
here.
feel like he would not accept coming in second again?
There's just too many second places.
There's too many second places on his record, right?
Yeah, I think so. So we missed a whole bunch of things that happened. Mark Raska cast a Sower of Temptation.
Right into the
taking
Grim Lava
prophet-
Master, actually.
Yeah, but I think it was just to give the Prophetic Flame Speaker vigilance. Apparently. All it basically did was... I mean, it didn't untap it, but... Maybe to... I don't know. I have no idea why he did it.
This is the press.
Okay, just does. Alright, so the attack was Strangleroot Geist blocking Prophetic Flame Speaker, and then he Maze of Ith the... or Prophetic Flame Speaker blocked the Strangleroot Geist, and Maze of Ith hit the Mark Raska's Prophetic Flame Speaker. And then he passed the turn back to Mark Anderson. Mark Anderson plays a mountain. Again, another Zendikar land. Into a Vidalcan Shackles. The Shackles, you pay 2 and you tap it, and you gain control of any creature. As long as that creature has power less than or equal to the number of islands you control. Mark has 3 islands because the volcanic island does count as an island. So he can gain control of actually any of Raska's creatures at this point. Marc Anderson untaps a mountain with Koth. Koth can go ultimate next turn. And goes in for 4. Raska's down to 13. Koth hitting ultimate is pretty much the end of the game, so Mark Raska really has to make some decisions now. Luckily, he does have Sylvan Library, which allows him to draw 2 extra cards during his upkeep. He can keep any of those additional cards by paying 4 life. And then he can put the other ones back in any order. So Mark Raska, I think he's going to take a little bit of time, right now, thinking about what he should do, because this is a pivotal turn. This is probably one of the last turns if he plays it incorrectly. So it's something he really needs to think about. This has been a very exciting game with 2 different flame speakers on either end that have really been calling the shots, and each player has been playing around the other person's flame speaker. What do you think, Catherine? Catherine's been here, but she just hasn't.
It's the War of the Flame Speakers. It's a classic civil war between brother versus brother. I'm assuming.
Mark versus Mark.
Yeah, I know. This is crazy. It's kind of cool. We should mention that Frank had to take a little break.
Yeah, Frank stepped out.
He didn't just like disappear. We didn't just kick him out or anything. He's just taking a break.
I think that he needed to go for a protein shake real quick, and so he's gonna come back.
It's a real grinder, this match, so it's understandable. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised these guys haven't taken a break. It looks pretty rough.
I know, but I think the adrenaline is just so high up that they can keep going forever.
They also seem to be deliberating quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that just shows how serious your Cube Championships are. They, yeah.
They don't take it lightly. They don't take it lightly.
Well, and I guess, these 2 are friends from way back, so...
Yes.
So they're very competitive, like they're athletes and things like that too, which I think just as a more competitive, rivalry between them. Than say like playing with Frazier, who's extremely casual, doesn't play that much. People are totally fine letting him take stuff back just because he's not as experienced, doesn't play as much, and he really just plays for fun. Whereas these guys they're out to win every single time. Not saying that you're not, but in any situation if it makes sense for you to draw, or then you will.
Here's actually a really exciting play that's done by Mark Raska.
I wouldn't know.
So what Mark Raska did was move to attack step. Then Mark Anderson is trying to gain control of one of the creatures using the Vidalcan Shackles. But he has to tap it to activate it to do that, and in response what Mark Raska does is play Pestermite, untapping Mark Anderson's Vidalcan Shackles. Vidalcan Shackles reads that he only retains control of the creature as long as Vidalcan Shackles remains tapped. Since it's not tapped, he never gains control of the creature because on resolution of the ability, Vidalcan Shackles is not tapped. Therefore, he can't even give a creature summoning sickness.
I didn't understand any of that, but it did. I'm assuming it was very exciting.
It's actually one of the best plays I've seen in this match so far.
Is it explaining a card in a way that you've never seen before?
It's countering the ability of a card in a way that I've never seen before.
Oh, cool. And you've had this cube for so long and those cards for so long. It's kind of nice. It's kind of cool to be able to see them in action differently.
And Frank is back.
Hey, Frank.
Frank, how is your milkshake?
It was okay. It's pretty tasty. This has been a strange game.
You don't know.
I do know. I felt like when I left, Mark Raska had the
upper hand.
The upper hand, the lion's share of the board.
Never mind. I'll tell you what you missed later after we finish recording.
Just watch this video.
So the block is Mark Anderson blocks the Hasty Guy, the 2 Stringer Geist with the Grim Lavamancer, and the Prophetic Flame Speaker blocks the Coiling Oracle.
Mark Anderson is about to get a cost that has
ultimate
that is going to wreck Mark Raska's current board, though, right?
With 4 mountains in play, it's a 2-turn clock, pretty much.
Yes, it's very good against his life total, and it's also very good against all of his creatures. It's very good right now.
Excellent.
It provides a lot of
there's that.
and
There's that fifth
another mountain.
And he does. He goes for it. He ultimates Koth.
This provides a lot of ways for Mark to win. A lot.
But really, mostly one. Plus, he still has 2 islands there to tap for the Vidalcan Shackles whenever he wants.
I think Mark's going to deal a little bit of controlling the board first, though.
There's a legit Koth emblem in play.
You really stepped it up for this Cube Championship with your Koth emblem.
I think actually somebody else brought that Koth emblem. Because they knew I was not going to step it up at all.
Can't count on you ever.
Actually, at the last Cube Finals, I won the Cube Finals with a Koth emblem.
Was it a real one?
No, actually, I didn't step it up and bring the Koth emblem.
A Vendilion Clique was just played right into the Koth. This is Mark Raska is reaching. He's floundering. It's just
so he killed a Pestermite and he killed the Vidalcan, or sorry, the
Vidalcan Clique, and he still has 3 mountains up. This is a strong board position.
He can kill the Prophetic Flamespeaker. Raska's Prophetic Flamespeaker.
He can Vidalcan Shackle something. It is looking pretty good. He has the Maze of Ith, the whole game Maze of Ith, causing nothing,
Yep.
nothing but troubles.
Trouble's so hard.
Trouble so wild. Mark looks at the top 3 of his deck.
Which Mark?
Raska. On screen, he's doing it right now.
I'm sorry, I'm blind. So, he has 3 cards. And he puts 2 back and he draws 1, as is tradition.
As is Sylvan Library tradition.
You know, these guys are actually playing the 2 planeswalkers that are the most easy to ultimate. However, Marc Anderson is already ultimated.
It's a huge advantage when you're playing 2 planeswalkers to have already ultimated one of them.
And then we see a scoop. And Marc Anderson has beat Mark Raska, and we're going to another match, and we're going to see the grand finals, bracket reset, winner take all.
It would not have been exciting if Mark Raska just went undefeated on them.
No, yeah, it wouldn't be as exciting. Right now it's exciting.
You know what's weird though? I feel like he lost that last game because of the line he took. I feel like he could have won that one.
It's really hard to play against Mark Anderson. It's very difficult, as I'm sure you know.
Ooh, he did beat me earlier in the tournament. Thanks for rubbing it in.
And he beat me as well.
Ooh, just nothing but self for both of us.
And neither of us played Mark Raska, is that right?
No, we probably would have lost, but we did not. And that's why Raska really made it so far. He didn't have to play us, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Not really.
2 Titans like us, huh?
That's why he was undefeated. Including victories against Mark.
Turn 1 Ancestral
Anderson.
Vision. Is that the best turn for Ancestral Vision?
That is most certainly the best turn for Ancestral Vision. It's a phenomenal card. You don't actually need the cards
so
right
in
now.
3 turns, he's going to get a free Ancestral Recall, right?
Yeah, and then he's going to get that Shelldock Isle because that's just the way Mark plays
Because
his
he just
cards.
keeps digging.
I have no idea what to think.
Well, things got really silent there.
I was just thinking, I would have attacked the cost. I don't know if it would have changed that game, but...
But it definitely changed the game, the fact that Mark Anderson had an emblem, right?
Yeah.
That swayed the game quite a bit, wouldn't you say?
It just didn't feel like Mark Raska was in a position where he could close the game out with some Maze of Ith on the board. And then he went for it.
So we have a turn 2 Lotus Cobra by Mark Raska.
That's always the strongest turn to play that card, too.
And,
Searing Spear.
We got a Searing Spear.
I don't know if I like Searing Spear that much. It feels a little bit pricey for what it does.
It's Incinerate.
Exactly.
You think Incinerate's not good enough for Cube?
I don't know. Maybe I've been underwhelmed every time I've played Searing Spear and Incinerate types card lately. They used to be pretty strong. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. Maybe I forgot how to play red.
Maybe. Has it been a while since you played Red?
Played red and won? Maybe.
Also, the top four, both you and Frazier, as well as Mark Raska and Mark Anderson, you top foured this cube tournament, and all of you were playing blue.
Blue is a strong color, and I think we were the only blue drafters among us four, which isn't something to brag about.
Half
but there
the table was playing blue,
yeah,
and that half of the table made the top four.
yeah.
Does that just mean that every blue card is better than every other card?
No, I mean I think that I know that I wasn't playing particularly strong blue cards. It looks like Anderson's blue cards are pretty strong. If we look at the two that are on the board, they're great blue cards, right?
Yeah, they're phenomenal blue cards.
But I was running cards like Mana Wars for my blue.
We got an Ancestral Visions that just popped.
My better cards were all black.
So basically just 4 cards this turn.
Yeah, and one of them is a Consecrated Sphinx. That is a great card. That is a world beater.
Can you ever, can you beat that? If you're Mark Raska, do you just move on to the next game?
Well, he hasn't played it yet, and Mark Raska does have counter spells, so I wouldn't concede just yet.
Maybe that's why I was out of the tournament so quickly.
You just kept conceding on turn 2 when your opponent said I drew a bomb.
I was like, oh, no way I can beat a bomb with my Obsidat.
They didn't even show it to you.
But now Mark Anderson has 2 islands. He's got a Strangleroot Geist and a Coiling Oracle in play.
You know what's weird? Mark Raska has really played that Pestermine in a way that he's really counting on it to untap that Vidalcan Shackles rather than playing it at the end of his opponent's last turn. But now he's just really missed out on dealing some damage, I feel.
I would agree with this.
I mean, he's going to get to deal the damage next turn, potentially, unless Mark plays a blocker, so I guess it's almost equivalent. Or equivalent entirely, but it just feels a little weird.
So he's got a Jilt.
I would cast this Jilt before saying go, but I don't know what's going to happen.
And he's going to cast a Jilt before saying go.
Good play. It's exactly what I just said.
And then that way he can hard cast the creature with haste and attack. Are you a fan of talking smack to your opponent during gameplay?
Oh, you know it.
Glad we got that out of the way.
No, I think it's I'm a fan of having fun while I play. I don't like playing strangers with whom I can't have a conversation, and maybe sometimes the conversation is just smack talk.
That's how most of your conversations go, I guess.
That's painting it in a negative light.
So we've got that Mana Vault, which we've seen deal 35 points of damage to Mark Anderson.
It is a good card. Oh no!
And a Treachery.
A Treachery with
This is treacherous.
a Treachery, a Vidalcan Shackles. This is some board control. And a
You know it. And
a
a Jason the
looming-
Mind Sculptor as well.
a looming Consecrated Sphinx.
He's not even casting the Jason the Mind Sculptor yet.
Ooh! Oh no! It's the Siege Gang!
This is the card that destroyed me, which the people who are watching can attest to.
To play this Siege Gang, he had to play that Treachery because he needed to get the double red.
Yes.
This was
Brilliant, right?
a brilliant play.
This surely is
from
Mark Anderson from the Pro Tour days.
from better days. Wait a second. This is a very good play though against Raska, because Raska's deck does not deal well with a bunch of little creatures. I think.
Yeah. He
This
doesn't
is-
have like a green or blue Wrath. Mark Anderson has the Upheaval.
This Siege Gang is very good right now.
Like, what can Raska do? He can cast a Cryptic Command, a Repulse.
You can repulse that Siege Gang commander, which
Might.
is never a strong play.
It seems terrible.
Mark Anderson about to take one.
There we go. Game's almost over.
Sometimes
Mark Raska's almost won.
Sometimes I just don't take one.
What do you mean? You
Forget.
gotta tap it, or?
I just forget.
Do you mean like forget air quotes, or like
No.
legit forget?
Legit forget.
And when your opponent reminds you, what happens?
Sometimes I take it.
No, that's questionable. That's a little dodgy.
It's all coming out today.
It's all dodgy, Frank. It's super dodgy. And so he decides to block the Strangleroot Geist with the Coiling Oracle, hoping to get the sneeze out.
You got the sneeze right out of me. What is getting repulsed? Is it the Siege Gang Commander? Is it the Coiling Oracle? Is it the Strangle Rootgeist?
Is it a single token?
Apparently it's the Siege Gang Commander.
Seems not so good.
Seems like not an eventual winning play. Oh no.
But now he's got a Stringer Rootgeist. Mark only has 2 islands in play, so
Can
he
you
can't
explain
take it.
to somebody who isn't very good at Magic what just happened? Why did that Strangle Rootgeist come back on Mark Raska's side of the board?
Because it has Undying, it comes back into play when it dies with a +1/+1 counter. But if it has a +1/+1 counter when it dies, it doesn't come back.
But it went back from Mark Anderson's side to
Yeah,
Raska's
it comes
side.
back into its owner's control.
Okay.
You got 12 life, right?
Mark Raska's just rolled a dice.
Just for fun, I think.
Oop, there it is. It's the only fun he's having this game.
We have a Chase the Mind Sculptor. Oh, jeez. What planeswalkers?
He's a world beater.
But he's got a counterspell for that Chase the Mind Sculptor. He's got a Cryptic Command.
One cryptic command too many.
And he's bouncing the Vidalcan Shackles.
Alright then. Maybe Raska's righted the ship here. Mark Anderson's been a little bit thin on lands.
Mark Raska drew a Sword of Temptation, is attacking with the Stringer Geist. Maybe he can finally win a game here.
I think he can. I think that... Because if the Siege Gang does get played, he does have a Siege Gang coming to him that he can use right away. If even better, the Consecrated Sphinx gets played, that could be a game winner.
Sword of Temptation.
Although it will get killed, it will go back to Mark's side of the board eventually.
He's just looking at a full grip, Mr. Anderson.
He only has 4 land. A 4 land grip.
And then he's going to...
He's gonna untap the
Mana Vault. Although, if that's your Mana Vault, that's not the worst thing. The worst way to untap Mana Vault, end of turn.
It's not. It's also pretty interesting to let Mark pay 4 mana for it and then tap it again.
That would be great, yeah.
That would be excellent. Mark already thin on lands. Did you just Pestermite the mountain, and then in response to the Pestermiting of the mountain,
I think so.
here it comes.
Fire and Ice?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that what you think?
I'd hope so.
1-1?
There we have it.
Mark Anderson drawing blood.
Although it does take, it does clip a turn. Just it completely stops a turn. For Mark Anderson,
It's true.
it's a good thing he had that instance actually. If he didn't have that fire and ice, he would be in a
Comes
little
in
bit
with
of
a
trouble.
Stringer Geist, he blocks with 2 Goblins.
Saw that one coming.
Playing an island?
Would you play the Sword of Temptation for the Goblin token here?
Nope.
You would not play the Sword.
No. I know that Mark's got some bombs. My Mark Anderson's got some bombs, and I would hold off.
But he only has 4 lands, and Sword of Temptation does deal damage. It flies
It's
and
true,
it deals
but he's
2
got
damage.
a whole grip. I'm sure he's got other burn, other removal.
He's gonna draw land eventually. Something. You know he has a Vidalcan Shackle at the very least. So that's gonna steal your sword eventually.
Mark Raska only has 1 card in his hand, I think. Against the... What is that? 5 cards of Mark Anderson?
Some murderous redcap.
Mark Anderson plays Vidalcan Shackles.
It looks like Mark Anderson has infinite ways to deal with the 2/2s of Mark Raska. Or the 2/1s.
Yep.
It's just like a continuous storm of ways to kill whatever creature that Mark Raska plays.
This is game 1 of final bracket.
And then we have a Mark Raska playing a Kiora, the Crashing Wave.
What is Kiora's ultimate?
Put in a 9/9 Kraken at the end of all of your turns.
Every turn is an emblem?
Yeah, it's an emblem that gives you, at the end of your turn, you get a 9/9 creature.
I really like Kirkens. I collected them once.
Did you?
I'm not much of a sentimental person.
So I don't understand what you're saying. Did you collect them or not?
I did not. I did not. That was a lie.
Why are you trying to bluff everyone at home? You have no need to bluff us.
Just a condition I have.
Now, if Mark Raska +1s it and targets Mana Vault, it doesn't damage Mark Anderson. But he's probably going to target the token.
I'm sure he's
Actually,
about to
he
do
used
that.
the negative one, which I don't see very often, which is draw a card, and you get an extra land this turn. It's Explore.
I'm pretty excited for whatever is
Polukranos?
underneath the. Well, I'm excited for that, but I'm excited for the Shelldock Owl. It's always a mystery.
What was this Shell Like Owl? Wasn't it a Snapcaster Mage this time?
No, that was a different game. Where it might be a Snapcaster Mage this time, but I'm always excited to see.
Or was that just the game one? He's played it 3 games in a row now.
He plays it every game. It's like he.
And he
cheats it
hasn't
up.
used it yet.
He does not use it very often. No.
Mark Anderson going to 7.
That worm's pretty big, right?
The Polukranos, it's a Hydra.
What?
It's a 5/5 that can fight a bunch of guys and get huge.
Is that island in play at the top of Mark Raska's board?
Yes, it is.
That's good news.
Why?
Mark has an erotic portal in his.
Oh.
And then that could just bounce it.
Yes, it could.
But any more islands, and it's gonna be troublesome for that worm Hydra.
Well, Mark Anderson only has 3 islands in play right now, and during Mark Raska's next turn, what he can do is actually pump it up to a 6, 7, 8, 9. 9/9.
That would be troublesome for Mark Anderson.
And he would kill the 1/1 creature.
He's on the ropes. That Explorer was well timed.
It was, right? He really needed that extra card. It was definitely the right play instead of trying to go for an ultimate. Because
And
if he had any card like this, even, it's going to kill it. It would have brought it to 1 counter had he plussed it, but then he wouldn't have the Polukranos. But this is an especially good card for Mark Anderson because now, if Mark Raska tries to pump up the Polukranos and kill both his creatures, the Undying trigger will trigger, and he'll still have a blocker.
fact.
But he can just pump it to 7, and if he's got a card in his hand, he's going to have 4 mana up.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
We'll just shift backwards a little bit.
I'm.
There's no reason for you to be uncomfortable.
Good one, Miles.
So
Mark
now we
Raska
got
counting or pointing.
We've got some serious counting. That's what everybody tuned in for, counting, right?
It's the Cup Championships.
It's the Cub Chips. Just a couple of Cubs battling it out. Oh, it's cubes. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. So we've got a chump block by Mark Anderson.
Does that surprise you?
Nope.
What analysis?
If you chump block with the other one, then Mark Raska could win next turn. Still, now it's 2 turns before he can win.
Aren't you excited? Shelldock Isle? Ah!
You really want to see him pop that Shelldock Isle.
When will it happen?
I think he's considering untapping the Mana Vault, which he does. And here we're probably going to get... Oh, there's another island. We come 1 step closer to gaining control of Polukranos using a Vidalcan Shackles. 3 in a blue. What do we got? Erratic Portal.
Whoa, erratic portal. That Mirror's Red Cap is going to be there forever.
I would really take this opportunity to end step monstrous. Oh no, you have to do it as a sorcery, sorry. I think. No, I think you can do it as an instant.
Mark stepping across to read
Yeah,
cards.
you can definitely make it monstrous as an instant. Are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up.
You can do it.
Play some music for us while I look it up.
Nah, I was gonna sing, but then I realized I couldn't. And yeah, so
It's never been
Not
a
gonna
talent
do
of
it.
yours.
not gonna do it. Swings in with Polukranos. Mark Anderson blocks with the Murderous Red Cap and deals Mark Raska a single point of damage. And he says, "You, sir, take a single point of damage." Mark Raska can play a Delver of Secrets, but he passes the turn anyway, because then Mark Anderson will just gain control of it with the Vidalcan Shackles. Mark Anderson plays an island.
So it's confirmed. He could have done that at end step, made them fight, and then knocked Mark down to 1 probably.
No, he would have killed him.
He would have killed Mark?
I think he would have killed Mark Anderson, yeah.
Where does the extra point of damage come from?
Why?
I thought, oh, because it's monstrous. At the point it's monstrous,
yeah.
it's gigantic.
Yeah, he could have dealt, 7 points, or 3 points of damage to it.
Mm-hmm.
He did an 8/8. And won.
That would have been game.
But now he's got a Siege Gang commander, so now Mark Raska has to pump Peluchronos while keeping 1 mana up for Erratic Portal. He would have to pump it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points.
That's not good.
And it would take it would take 6 points as well.
So if Raska had done that though, wouldn't he have just had the Murderous Redcap come back? Wouldn't the Murderous Redcap have
No, it had a counter on it.
It already
from
had a
blocking.
counter?
Yeah.
Oh wow. So that would have been game.
Would have been game.
What's that? Yeah.
Mark's given second life, Mark Anderson.
Mark Anderson decides to bounce the Siege Gang. I think. Or no. I think that Mark Raska miscounted and only dealt 1 point of damage to the Siege Gang commander when it needed 2 to kill it. Or the damage is supposed to be divided evenly, maybe. I don't think so. But I think that he miscounted. And this turn he was supposed to be able to... Okay, so now he should be able to use his Steam Vents, sack the Siege Gang commander, kill the token, and kill him with Peluchronos, right?
You'd think so. No, actually, he won't be able to because he can always Vidalkin Shackles for a blocker. Can't he?
It's true, he can.
Do you think this is a turn we find out what's happening underneath that shell duck? I'm always excited.
Nope.
I just can't wait.
We've got a Delver's Secrets.
I'm not a fan.
And a Root Waller. Certainly, Mark Raska has won this game.
It's definitely been an odd game.
I think what Mark Anderson has to do is end of turn gain control of the Siege Gang commander.
Which he did.
And then Mark Raska sacked it, as he should have,
As he should have.
without tapping the red mana. But whatever, we'll let that slide.
He gets so much mana anyways. That's sometimes how you play it.
A little bit loosey-goosey. Things get a little loosey-goosey. That means
Oh, no, I could
loose.
just take some. Right.
They're playing loose and messy.
Yeah.
Not Lionel
I
Messi.
could have just killed a thing. Just
No, I just take a sword and I block.
The jokes keep coming over here.
Just a home run after home run. Mark Anderson in his hand's got a Prophetic Flame Speaker and I think a Fire and Ice.
He did not choose to play those, although the Fire and Ice is good for him right now. There is a troublesome, gigantic creature on the opposite side of the board. Absolutely monstrous. Literally. Working it in.
That was a
Working
nice
it in.
one. That was a
Working
real
it
funny
in.
joke, Frank.
Here all day, or until this game is over.
There's been so many interactions between these two decks.
Did Mark forget to take damage from the Mana Vault?
From the Mana Vault,
It looks like it.
it does.
Oh no! That's the type of player he is.
He's still been on He's been on upkeep the entire time.
We just could not tell. We are not. We are no good at this, or we're just too busy with the funny.
Yeah, we've just been trying to keep up the funny.
Yes.
All right, we got a Murderous Red Cap, dealing 2 to the Sword of Temptation.
This is a good card for Mark. That Erratic Portal plus that Murderous Red Cap has saved him a ton of damage. what can Mark stall into here? He can just stall forever.
Mark definitely needs to have 2 mana up for Vidalcan Shackles.
And Shelldock Owl, which is eventually coming, right?
Or maybe right now. Maybe he's playing it right now.
Maybe.
Are your eyes peeled, sir? For this Grim Lavamancer?
Ah! You had me at Shelldock Isle.
So disappointed. Maybe it's just like a mountain or an island underneath that Shelldock Isle. So what's the play at this point?
Maybe it's so threatening.
Attack with Blue Chronos.
Did you forget to reveal off the Delver?
I think that maybe it just wasn't an instant or sorcery. Seems legit. So he's only attacking with 2 creatures. So Mark takes his untapped one,
Seems good at the moment.
pumps his Root Wallet,
Sure. He's not going to like the
and
results.
finishes off the Root Wallet with the Murderous Redcap.
Cannot be happy with the results.
I wouldn't be happy with the results. He can also bounce the Murderous Redcap.
It's just coming back in a second, and now Vidalcan Shackle has no reason to be tapped still.
Mm-hmm.
We're back at the same board position, but Mark Raska is
And you
down
can
2
take
creatures.
the Birds of Paradise now too.
I still am in disbelief. If Mark Anderson manages to grind out this game, that would be quite the surprise still.
3 life is super low. Super low. But he does have this Vidalcan Shackles.
A lightning bolt that he just drew.
That's like unbeatable.
He just has the stall. He has
Slowly
stall
getting
for
control of
days.
this game.
He finally got a little bit of breathing room to untap that Mana Vault. So we have an attack with the...
Oh, and the birds is tapped now. And it's Mark's again.
So he can still block and then bounce with Erratic Portal before damage.
And that's exactly what he does.
And Mark Raska...
is a lot of stall. Mark Raska's looking dejected.
He is, right? You can't even see him, but did you see his hand? Like the way he said go with the
That
finger?
is the hand of a man who is dejected.
It was! It was crazy to be able to tell that. I think that maybe we just feel like
Oh,
we
this
would
is
be
a
dejected.
huge counter spell.
Oh, it was a bluff. He wasn't actually dejected at all.
He
Although
had
he's
it.
still-
Oh, this is huge. This
He's
is
still
huge.
not in a great
No, this
position.
is great. This is his Mark's continuous blocker is done for. Is done. But I think
He still needs
Consecrated
to deal with
Sphinx.
that Vidalcan check.
And now here comes Consecrated Sphinx. Here
Because
comes.
now that Mark Raska doesn't have any cards in hand, he knows that he is safe to play it.
Here is the bomb. Here's the clock. It's a clock attached to a card drawing engine attached to a. It's an absolute monster. It is my favorite cube card of this match on Mark's board.
I like the
Raska.
Vidalcan Shackles.
Is your favorite card on the board right now? I like Shelldock Isle, actually. I lied. Just like me, but Shelldock Isle is a ton of fun. You'll never know what's underneath the Shelldock Isle. Mark will never tell you.
So Catherine's still here. Hey, Catherine,
Mhm.
does watching this make you want to play Cube? Learn how
I'm
to play
kind of
Cube?
sleepy now.
Do you feel like this is a lot of matches between the same 2 decks?
Yeah. This is the second match, right? And now,
Yeah.
and they've already played once before.
To be fair, these are by far the best 2 decks of the day.
Yeah.
And you had Sol Ring, Skull Clamp,
I just didn't stand a chance.
Frost Titan.
I took Mark to 3 games,
You did.
and then I drew a bunch of lands that I'm going to complain about on air right now. I'm just kidding, that happens.
So he untapped the Mana Vault again.
This Consecrated Sphinx, a mid full of hands, a bunch of blockers, an untapped Vidalcan Shackles. It's really going to take a burn spell from Mark Raska at this point, it feels like. Mark Raska is going to have to play a 3 damage burn spell to get out of this bind, it feels like. Or, I don't know, I don't
Or
see
a
it.
creature with evasion and hexproof.
Or maybe give his guy trample. I don't know. His Hydra trample, is that...
That would do it.
It's just so many cards.
It would do it maybe before he just drew 4 cards off a Consecrated Sphinx.
I think it's been 6. It's a really good card.
It's too good.
It is too good for Cube.
Nah, it's
When
not
it
too-
doesn't get killed and it stays out there forever. And you play
When
it
you
really
play-
late in the game.
When you play it right, it's unbeatable.
Sure.
And you need an opportunity to be able to play it right?
Oh, it's just so painful watching all the creatures being stripped by Videlkin and Shackles, one at a time.
And then fed to Polukranos.
His own Polukranos.
What a sacrifice. It's almost like a Lord of the Pit, killing his own creature every turn, and he can't get any damage through.
But not dealing damage. Here it comes. It's a clone. What is he cloning? He has to clone the Consecrated Sphinx, doesn't he? But if he clones the Consecrated Sphinx, this is good as stolen.
He could clone the Polukranos. Nope. We're just moving on.
Alright.
That was it.
We're just moving on to the next game. So, 3 games, 3 wins by Marc Anderson. What do you think about that?
I'm a bit surprised, actually, because Mark Raska beat him during the regular portion of this tournament, but I also feel like Mark Raska could have won the last 2 games that we've watched.
Yeah, I think the last one for sure. Mark Raska played a Delver of Secrets, and it got lightning bolted by Marc Anderson. Marc Anderson then followed it up with the classic Shelduck Isle that never gets used.
I think this game is the game. I think Shelduck Isle has played this game. It is a tremendous card.
Sorry, which card does he put under the shelf?
He looks at the top 4 cards of his library and chooses a card and puts it underneath, and then if any library at any time has 20 cards or less in it, he can pay a blue and tap it and put the card underneath into play.
Okay. Sorry, I just...
No, it's okay.
I don't quite understand it.
Or play it. He can play the card for free.
This is pretty exciting for Mark Raska. An open board, a potential ninja of the deep. Oh, ninjutsu! I love ninjutsu. No one ever sees it coming, and then it's always one card.
And then he gets to draw a card.
It's always one card and draw a card, and no one ever sees it coming. So good.
And then you get your enters. Oh, we've got a bonfire of the damned off the top for 2.
It's a miracle!
Oh, he's got a jilt!
I'm not sure if that was worth it.
And then he puts the creature in the graveyard. Alright.
Anyways, to
We're
the
good,
graveyard
we're
with you, ninja.
But he still takes 2 damage.
This is actually a pretty good position for Mark. I can't imagine this is bad for Mark Raska.
It is definitely a good position for a Mark.
A Mark is definitely in a better position than the other one. We just can't tell which one.
I'm going to make a really wild call now and say we're going to have Mark as a Cube Champion 2014.
Ooh, a Mark as a Cube Champion in 2014? Could it be? This never happened before.
I just think he's going to leave his mark on 2014.
Oh, that's so lame. But here
Just
it comes.
Groaner after groaner.
Oh, wow.
Kiora.
On an open board, that's good, right? That's how it works?
Negative Kiora, so we got to play the extra land.
Is that good at this time? That must be good.
Well, it gives you some guaranteed use out of it, especially since you know that Mark's only playing burn spells if you can see his graveyard.
Can Kiora target players so that they don't deal damage with burn spells?
Nope.
Certainly not.
They're going much faster.
I think they're just so used to playing against each other with these 2 decks that they know what the other person's capable of at this point.
Maybe it's just...
Draws into the Birds of Paradise.
Here comes a Pestermite.
Probably tapping the Coalition Relic, right?
No, probably typing his only mountain.
Well, the Coalition Relic's also a mountain.
It's just a better card, actually, but me and Raska think alike. It's just strictly
because
a better...
it also stops him from putting a counter on it if he doesn't need it, right?
It's just all around a better play to tap the Coalition Relic.
Here we go. We got a Fire Imp.
A world beater. This
Fire
Ninja of
Imp
the Deep
just
Hour
into
is
the,
it's a known commodity that there's a Ninja of the Deep Hour. He is not going to get away with an attack unblocked.
I believe that is the case.
We'll try anyways. Here it goes.
He's
Oh,
got
run into the blocker. Fire
Both
Imp
of those
just,
creatures had already done their job, right?
Fire Imp has just killed 2 creatures though. Oh, huge turn! A huge turn! An absolute...
But let's see what Marc Anderson...
What a
can do
crazy
about
turn!
it.
Marc Anderson does not have a Rasagot in his deck, I can confirm it. How does he get out of this?
See, he wouldn't have been able to put that counter on it if he Pestermited the Coalition.
Whatever. Way to rub it in everybody's face.
So Pelucranos is going to play for the other team this time.
It's a pain every time Treachery comes out.
There's just so many treacherous creatures in these two decks.
I saw it. Mark was in a lot of trouble, and now the board is clear and wide open for Mark. He has a Pelucranos. Is that the name of the card?
Yeah.
But he also has Coalition Relic with the Worm.
And then he
Or
just
the
played,
Hydra?
he just played a Snapcaster Mage using Bonfire for 1.
It is good times for Mark Anderson. It is really confusing in the studio.
So the Cube Championship playmat, all of us signed it. Which one's your signature?
The messy one in the top right. Which one's yours?
Mine's the bubble M.
I use the floating red.
The only one you could easily read.
I don't think that you could sign anything with that and get away with it legally.
Yeah, that's how I sign all my documents.
Down to one card.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Other stuff.
They
More
are gonna,
talking. What?
No, but somebody's gonna win that, and it's not one of us, which is disappointing for us.
Of course it is.
It's one of the things we wanted to win out of this tournament.
But you know what? That makes us underdogs next year, and it can be a true underdog story.
I
We-
can just
oh.
make you one.
We definitely play better as underdogs, I feel.
Catherine was actually the one who made that Cube Championships playmat. It's beautiful, and I really wanted it.
It's not that good.
Catherine doesn't like it, but that's only because she doesn't play Cube, and she doesn't know how much this means.
So Jilt just came back.
Because he ninja'd, clone ninja'd, targeting the Snapcaster Mage, or choosing Snapcaster Mage, and then he got to play his Jilt from his graveyard.
So what do you think of his board position then? It's pretty even right now, right? It's not
Two
that bad.
Snapcaster Mages, except Marc Anderson has a Spike Shot Elder. However, he only has 1 mountain.
But it must be noted that there is a Shelldock Isle.
We've noted it every game now. This
Every
is the 4th
game, we'll find out what's
Shelldock Isle.
underneath it. He's counting. He's counting. Here it comes.
Are you excited?
Yes. Oh, it's so close.
You have
It's
no
coming.
idea how many cards he
The
has in his life.
Shelldock Isle is coming. I can feel it. What card is that in Mark's hand?
I can't tell.
Oh, you'll never know.
He could.
Ooh, Shelldock Isle mana is still up. I can confirm it.
And Mark Raska is just playing with the bonfire. He seems frustrated.
Still not sure if that's right.
Lots of thinking. Do you actually spend this much time thinking when you play Magic?
I am the slowest player in the world.
EB is also quite slow.
That's mean to Ibrahim. But also, I'm not as slow as people think that I am. Come on. These two players are pretty fast, though.
I feel like I play too fast.
You feel like you play too fast, and
I
you're
make-
jealous of
I
the
make
way that I'm
mistakes.
very deliberate.
I made a lot of mistakes against you in this tournament.
Oh, don't beat yourself up. One of us had to make it to the top 4. And then lose to Marc Anderson. Who's killing it out there?
Good to
Oh,
see- it's
finally
a cost.
it's a cost. Oh, gosh.
He untaps the land.
Oh, jeez.
He probably should go in with the Snapcaster. He doesn't have to, I guess. He can... It's probably worth going in with the Snapcaster.
Yeah.
Because you don't want him... Well, no, because then you want to block, right?
Yeah, but
Not a lot of-
your opponent only has a Snapcaster. You have blockers.
Were you going to chump block with the Spike Shot?
I don't know. Can't he
He's
just...
got a ninja, right?
No, he has the worm, right? He can just cast the worm and activate the worm right away. Can't he do that if he had an extra land? With one more land, he can monstrous the Hydra worm.
And kill the Spike Shot?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cards now.
He doesn't need one more land. He has enough.
Okay.
That's a Snapcaster.
How much does the worm cost? Or is it a
Huh.
Pelucranos?
It costs 2 and 2 green.
2 and 2 green for a 5/5.
5/5. And then you pay 1 green and double X, and it deals that much damage.
Why, back in my day, you had to pay 4 mana for a 4/4, and now you're getting 5/5s with abilities.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
But instead, we just saw a Electrolyze hitting the Snapcaster and the Spike Shot and drawing him a card.
It's essentially equivalent and still gives him the chance to
And
play
he
the blue.
attacks. He's attacking Mark.
Again he attacks.
What did he
Mark.
clone?
That's the Snapcaster Mage. He Snapcaster Mage to get the Jilt.
Oh, yeah.
But he didn't play the extra land, so if Mark has a erratic portal anywhere here.
And Mark using Koth's +1 ability to get a second red mana for that Siege Gang Commander.
Exciting stuff.
Now, Mark Raska could kill all 3 tokens this turn.
Or kill the Siege Gang itself. He can cause all sorts of havoc on that side of the board.
I think what he's going to want to do is kill all 3 tokens.
He's not
Then
paying
he's
very
going to
much
sack
attention.
1 token in response to kill the Snapcaster Mage. And then he's going to attack Koth. And he's going to have to chump block with Siege Gang Commander. Unless he wants Koth to die. But Koth's going to ultimate next turn. But he only has 1 mountain in play. Right? Mark Raska should win right now. He should maybe not win the game, but
He should be on top.
he should be on top for sure, right? He kills all 3 tokens, forces him to block with Siege Gang. Instead of this.
You don't like this?
No. Attack and block, sack my goblin to kill your Snapcaster Mage, pass the turn.
This guy.
Oh, so instead he decides to deal 2 damage each to the Siege Gang Commander and a token.
I don't know if that's that bad.
Or 2 damage to the Siege Gang and 1 damage to the token.
Well, so you're suggesting that alternatively he could have done that before attacking?
Yeah.
Would that have had the, like... It's
And he could have dealt 1 damage each to all 3 tokens.
But it's a fight, right? So the worm would have taken all the damage.
It
But it would have been monstrous.
But it's
it would have
a
been
8/8.
gigantic.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. That would have been pretty good. And then he could attack with both creatures, hit the cost for at least 2, right?
Yeah, he would have sacked one of the tokens in response to kill the Snapcaster Mage. And then he would have had to chump block the Pelucranos or lose Koth.
Okay. But now he's gonna... Wouldn't that have had almost the same effect?
No, he wouldn't have the token. And yeah, he just wouldn't have a token
He
here.
would just wouldn't have the token, I see.
Which is reason like it's something, right?
It's
like,
a big deal against a creature that doesn't have trample and is huge.
Yeah.
And now I think Sheldock Isle is finally active. Mark is counting as active
Don't
Sheldock.
hold your breath, Frank.
Sheldock Isle! It's coming! It's a game changer. Hands crossed while he thinks about it.
I think that Mark Raska was shaking his fists at Marc Anderson.
He was doing some sort of, yeah, he was definitely,
Do you like Pelucranos?
yeah, it's great. It looks great so far. It's a 5/5 for 4. We used to draw 5/5 for 6, it
But
feels
that
like.
2 and 2 green slot is so stacked.
With what?
Is it better than Thrun?
Yeah, it looks better.
Is it better than
Ravenous Balos?
You mean Obstinate Baloth?
No.
Is it better than Obstinate Baloth?
It's different. It's a different card. It's really good, it looks like. I would say yes. It has to be better, right? They don't do the same thing at all, but I think it has to be better.
Just because he can't kill me this turn.
This one?
Yep.
He pumped the Koth again. He's going in for 5.
Oh, Mark Raska at 4.
And what is in Marc Anderson's hand?
What is Mark
Is it a fire and
Anderson's
ice?
plan? What
You
is
can
his
just
plan?
ice the Pelucranos and win the game.
Not on Raska's watch. He has tons of counter
That's exactly what he intends on doing. Raska's watch. Oh, it's under the Sheldock Isle! Frank!
Whoa!
Frank!
Oh,
it's
it's
the
the
ice!
Isle! It's done something! Hooray!
He has it. He taps the Pelucranos
I'm
during
a
his...
huge Sheldock Isle fan!
And it looked like the biggest Sheldock Isle ever.
Fire and ice. Not Consecrated Sphinx. Not Chase.
It's just hard casting ninjas.
He's just putting a bunch of chumps down.
Pass.
That. Alright. If he had more mountains, if Marc Anderson had more mountains, Mark Raska would be dead. would surely be dead.
Oh, he's holding a mountain. He is dead. This is not good for Raska. He has to basically kill him next turn. That's a 1-turn clock. But you have to be worried about the Plukernos hitting him because that could quite actually be a 1-turn clock. That could quite actually kill him in 1 turn.
You're okay.
Is it a second?
I think he's got a Scalding Tarn there. Oh, but he's got Volcanic Element.
He also has a
And a
mountain.
mountain.
Sounds like a 40
So if we ultimate Koth here,
I mean, this is what you do. You ultimate cost and you rely on Mark Raska not being able to kill you in 1 turn with 1 chump blocker out.
yep,
That's the play.
and he can still use those mountains to kill creatures if he needs to.
That's true. Which he will. Oh, because he has a... Oh, he's giving him more time. He's giving Mark Raska more time. If he didn't do that, if he waited instead of doing that, he could have had a slightly quicker clock, right? I don't know if I would have done that.
Yeah, I agree with you actually.
Because Marc Anderson could have pinged him for 1 and then played another mountain and then it would have been over, right?
Game?
But we'll see at least 2 more turns. Oh, we won't!
It's all over. Mark Anderson wins.
Marc Anderson 4-0.